Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Zahid, my respected colleague and research member, Prof. Johan and Dr. Irene Faber. Congratulations to ISN for organizing the first virtual conference on sport medicine and sports science in Malaysia. Today, I would like to interest you with the topic shown. There will be several things that I will highlight in my talk. The first will be the definition of talent, after which I will share a little about my PhD work involving combat sport at University of Ghent before I start on the scenario of talent identification in Malaysia. I also will explore the application of pattern as reference in Malaysian talent identification for young athletes. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Rozli Wazir bin Nurjali Wazir. You can call me Lee. I did my PhD on talent identification in combat sports and graduated from University of Ghent, Belgium in 2019. One of my supervisors is Professor Johan Pion, and I feel very fortunate and grateful to have him as my mentor and now my very good friend and brother, especially in talent identification in sports. Currently, I am a senior lecturer in Department of Sports Studies, Faculty of Educational Studies, University Putra, Malaysia. Talent. Honestly, there are no single definition for talent. Talent is a common characteristic of all domains of human development spanning from areas like sports, academic education, arts to many others. Researchers have made attempts to find the best way to identify talent in their specific field. In spite of the lack of a clear definition, talent can be characterized as a special ability that allows someone to reach excellence in some activity in a given domain. There are few terms in talent as shown above, but for today, I will only focus on talent identification and talent detection. If you observe these two pictures, you can easily differentiate between talent detection and talent identification. Vyans in 2007 described talent detection clearly, which is to discover potential performers of young athletes currently not in specific sport. While William and Raleigh defined talent identification as recognizing current sport participants with the potential to excel in one particular sport. In other words, talent detection refers to finding someone who is not in specific sport yet, while talent identification refers to someone who is already involved in specific sport. Select or not being selected is a normal process in talent identification in most countries in the world. This term, deselect, as we call it in talent identification, is very costly and leave very deep emotional impact on a child. But then, this is not the main point here. The grave concern is that we might have overlooked a potential champion in the deselected group. Therefore, it is very critical to use the appropriate procedure to predict the potential of a future champion. Allow me to share a little about my PhD studies. In this study, I took into consideration 3 motor coordination tests on top of the anthropometry and physical performance. The 3 tests are moving sideways, balancing backwards, and jumping sideways, as we can see in the slide here. In general, the Flemish Sport Compass could distinguish between elite and non-elite athletes in combat sports. And the study also provides a reference values for youth athletes, especially on combat sports. It provides values for Flemish Sport Compass for talent identification in other sports as well, such as figure skating and gymnastics. These articles are available online. Feel free to read it. More interestingly, we also found that certain test battery could distinguish young combat sport athletes. For example, in Taekwondo, speed, explosivity, and general motor coordination could effectively distinguish between elite and non-elite. This shows that we only need certain test batteries to identify our best mover or best athletes in the identification phase. But we must be clear that we still need a numbers of test batteries in the detection phase because at this phase we want to identify the best movers. This slide shows scores for sit and reach. The red line shows the value for normal young adults. The top three lines represent the score for sit and reach for gymnastics, handball, and judo. Let us observe the blue line, which is judo. When a young person scores within the blue line, it means the young athlete is suitable for the sport of judo. This is a simple way to referencing certain physical advantage to make our selection. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite slide. Malaysia is a tropical country where children run and climb and swim freely in nature and enjoy their childhood tremendously. Of course, this is before COVID. The keyword that I would emphasize from now is pattern as reference. I shall elaborate more on those two graphs on the top right side of this slide. First, I must pay tribute to these Malaysian researchers, namely Dr. Saidon Amri, Dr. Arif Fazil Ujang, and Dr. Ahmad Naim Ismail. They were the pioneers in research on growth and development among youth in Malaysia. Feel free to read the journals online. The next few slides are from these studies, which triggered me to discover a very interesting and exciting point. The blue lines represents girls, while the boys are represented by the orange line. Irregardless of the differences in anthropometry measurements, which is height, we can obviously see with our own bare eyes that there exists a similar pattern between student athletes from sports school on the left and normal student from their school on the right. Interestingly, when we compare the physical measurement, for example, standing broad jump, we will notice that there exists a similar pattern as well. In the sprint test, the pattern for both groups are the same, but for both groups, boys become faster as they grow older. So, the usual practice is when we decide to choose a sprinter, we will select only the medal winners. But the fact is that the selected boys will also be faster as they age, which means if the deselected boys were given training and attention as much as the selected ones, they might turn out to be better than the medal winners. Before I go further, it is crucial for everyone to understand the growth spurt when considering selection. Why? You might ask. Because some of the peak performance in physical component can appear either before, during, or after the growth spurt phase, which I believe is a very important consideration in talent identification and can be used by coaches to screen their potential athletes. I would like to draw your attention to the two black lines and the two blue lines. Black represent growth spurt range for girls while blue is for boys. The green box represent the growth spurt while the red lines represent the peak performance. Let's focus on the range between the blue lines. You will notice for boys, the sprint increased dramatically, which is shown in the red box during the growth spurt phase, which is shown in the green box. But interestingly, we don't see the same for standing broad jump. The peak performance appear after the growth spurt phase. Most probably, when we are searching for athletes for jumping events, we should pay attention to athletes after their growth spurt. This is seen in England. British Rugby has started including this criteria by starting their selection for players when they are 17 and above because they acknowledge that there will not be much differences in terms of physical performance after their growth spurt have ended, and the boys have adapted to their adult body size. The good news for Malaysian is Badminton Association of Malaysia and National Rugby Development Program has adopted and applied these principles in identifying talent for their sports. We look forward to the rest of the sport association to join the bandwagon. BAM is very pleased and support keenly this new effort to continue providing for Malaysia superior young badminton talent. Rugby has become a national sensation. Since the team won the gold at SEA Games, it attracted too many young hopefuls, and it is fantastic that National Rugby Development Program decided to start on the right track by including motor coordination and biobending in their talent identification process. I would like to present to you the new era of Malaysia talent. Early this month, a blueprint was developed for nation for 10 years to kickstart talent identification and talent development on the right track. We are confident because we are ready and we have the best expertise supported by Professor Johan and Dr. Irene Faber with us to realize our dream to get our first gold medal in the Olympics. The take-home message today will be, in order for us to be more accurate in predicting potential champion, we must include motor coordination and biobending in our talent identification exercise. We can decide and use certain test batteries for certain sport for talent identification. But remember, not in talent detection process. We can also look at the pattern as reference and applying the knowledge of growth and physical performance to make it easy for the coaches to make early screening of potential athletes in their sport. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention.